Hi, Sharon Riegie, Maynard here, and we're into number 3 of my book, Heeding the Cries of Your Children. Chapter 3, Commitment. Bob dialed Rory's number and waited. Rory's receptionist, Beth, answered. "Oh, good morning, Mr. Hatcher," she said. "He told me to put you right through." "Hold on just a moment." With a click, Bob could hear the transfer, and then Rory answered. "Good morning, Bob." "Hi, Rory," Bob answered. He noticed that Rory's voice sounded tired. "Did you read about the young girl and the teen at Glacier Park yesterday?" Rory asked. "Yes, I saw it in the morning paper. I can't let it go. I'm so angry that my head is bursting." Bob was glad to have somebody to share his feelings with. "Man, it did that to me too, like one hard blow to my gut. I don't know how parents stay strong with such craziness and danger out there for the children. Anyway, I'm calling because I have an idea," Roy continued. "I'm listening," Bob responded. "As long as I can remember, I have felt such empathy for people in pain," Roy began. "Therefore counseling," Bob teased. "Oh, right." Roy gave a little laugh and then continued. "But I'm constantly confronted with the inadequacies of my field. Maybe inadequacy isn't the right word, more like the limits." Rory was definitely upset, and Bob listened carefully. "Yes, we do make differences in the lives of people we counsel, but look at what happened yesterday. And we all know this isn't an isolated or unusual incident. I'm reminded again that we have a lot of people in pain and a lot of people with ways of thinking that harms others. We label it dysfunctionality, addictive behavior, bipolar, and there are new labels every year. The truth is, our society is not addressing its negative sides, and our darkness will not go away by itself." "I agree," responded Bob. "What idea do you have?" "Well, I've come up with a goal. That's something I've wanted for a long time, but I think that now I'm ready to take action on what my heart has wanted." Rory paused. He was tired. The night had been long, and now tears began to constrict his throat. Rory coughed to clear them and took a deep breath. Bob waited. "Here's my goal. It's a statement that came to me during the overnight shift, and I'd like to know what you think. I am part of a powerful solution team for children. We work with individuals of commitment, love, and vision. We look with open, questioning minds. Our agenda is healthy, passionate, safe living for children and harmony within families. We have accomplished our goal through our courageous stand and tenacity. I call for this to be in place now." Bob thought for a minute before he spoke. "Well," he began slowly, "are you asking for feedback?" "Sure," said Rory. "What does that statement bring up for you?" Bob moved forward. "I know that the only way to achieve a goal is to make the results visible and concrete by putting it into words. Otherwise, there's no path. No path, no open doors, no journey." "Now, that's what I've discovered too," Rory mused. "To tell the truth, I've been waiting for someone else to set forth this goal. Then I thought I would jump on board. Maybe everyone is waiting for somebody else to solve the problems. Anyway, after the shooting at Glacier, I was not willing to wait any longer." Rory paused. "Maybe the setting of the vision was my job to do all along." Then Roy put out the invitation to his friend. "What about you? Is this something you'd like to be on board with?" Bob pondered. He felt excitement at the possibility. Then thoughts of doubt flashed in his mind. "You already have a lot on your plate. Why don't you just give support from the sidelines?" "Well, what about the plans you have for Pam and your life together?" Then he remembered earlier this morning, the shower, the intensity of his feelings, price others were paying because this violence continued. Taking a deep breath that moved him to his very core place, Bob knew his answer. I would love to be involved, he uttered. When? Great, exclaimed Rory, his excitement released. What about next Sunday? Well, I know a place if you want to be outside, Bob volunteered. We could be in the spring sun with fresh air and glorious skies. They agreed and marked the date on their calendars. I'm going to invite Jerry and Pam, Rory said. Just what I would have suggested, affirmed Bob. The line was quiet for a few moments as the two men considered their agreement. Then Bob continued. I'm looking forward to this. Thanks for asking me. He spoke sincerely. Then he hung up the phone. Morning began. Bob felt a new enthusiasm rising because a person had a vision that touched his heart. Chapter 4, Beginnings. Pam had been excited about Rory's invitation as her spiritual healing work continued to attract clients looking for a way to change their lives. She knew that more was needed to address the pain in the world. She had learned to trust intelligent beings from the unseen worlds and accept realities of which most were unaware. Through them, Pam was led to understand old patterns and implement new ways to transform situations. Because of her personal and professional experiences, she was anxious to expand the traditional way of seeing problems by bringing an integrated awareness from her personal perspective into larger groups. Sunday arrived with warm spring temperatures, fresh colors, gentle breezes, a perfect day for Rory's first group meeting. Bob had chosen a little-known lake for the groups to gather. He and Pam arrived early and pulled into a small, empty parking lot. At first glance, Bob's dark hair, muscular body, and chiseled features hid his tenderness and wisdom. His professional, logical style served his clients well, but his friends, with them, his face softened and his eyes twinkled. Pam was just a head shorter than Bob, with light brown hair, curly and short. Her confidence was born from hard schooling on the street, tempered with training from beings in the unseen regions, rather than from any social credentials. They were a couple easy with each other and private in their love. As they walked down the path, they saw the small lake surrounded by new grasses, buttercups, trees in various stages of budding. There were tiny green swellings on the plum tree and yellow buds breaking open along the St. John's wort branches. The vibrant, deep greens of glorious firs were tipped with lime green of new growth. The birds sang from tall trees and stubby brush, filling the air with their songs. Ducks and geese were chattering, gliding around the lake. Occasionally, their heads plunged deep into the water, their tails tipped skyward. Pam and Bob walked around the lake. The nesting birds called to them from the willows. They seemed to say, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Pam clucked, don't worry, we won't disturb your family, you'll be safe, she cooed like a mother to her baby. The sun reflected dazzling light patterns off the soft ripples of the lake. The light cut a path that glistened from shore to shore. On either side of the sparkling swath, the lake remained deep blue and mysterious. A gentle breeze moved Pam's hair. Pam smiled. She playfully tousled it, touching Bob's. Bob tipped his head and laughed loudly. The wind stopped as if startled by his uproar. Then, in a seeming challenge, the breeze became a little stronger, caught Bob's hair with a fury, and then flipped Pam's curly chestnut brown hair into her face. Bob and Pam giggled. Holding hands, they walked to an open area and sat down in the long grass and meadow flowers. All of their tensions melted away. Pam took off her shoes and socks, her feet soaking in the warmth of the sun. She lay down, bent her knees, and wiggled the grass with her toes. Bob leaned on his left elbow and enjoyed the smile that crept onto Pam's face. Lying there, Bob thought she looked younger than her 32 years. The extra pounds that she worried about were just right to his eyes. He lowered himself to the grass, and they lay side by side, sun on their faces and feet in the grass. I know from the top of my head to my toes, to the depths of my soul, that we are here to serve some greater purpose, Pam whispered. Bob turned slightly at the sound of her voice. May that greater purpose come through us, he affirmed.